The FM Towns Marty is a 5th generation video game console released in 1993 by the Fujitsu Company exclusively in Japan. It was the very first 32-bit CD-based console sporting a 16 MHz AMD 386SX CPU, 2 MB of usable RAM, 640 KB of video RAM, and could display resolutions up to 720 by 480 with 256 colors on screen. The Marty had only composite and S-video output, and no other video connections are possible. The original cost when it was released was 98,000 yen, which is equivalent to about $1,500 today adjusted for inflation. The console came with a built-in CD-ROM and a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. It was based on the FM Towns computer that Fujitsu released in 1989. The Marty was basically a gaming console designed to play PC games that ran on its own custom version of Windows 95. The controller has a 4-way D-pad, A and B buttons, a start and select, and 1 bumper button on the top. A 6-button controller was sold separately to play Street Fighter II, and an adapter was available to use the CPS flight stick. While there were over 600 games made for the Towns computer, many of which could be played on the Marty console, there were very few Marty original games made. In fact, after hours and hours of research, I couldn't get an exact number, but it seems to be less than 10 games were made for the console. In 1994, a new version of the console called the FM Towns Marty 2 was released. It featured a darker gray shell and a new lower price of 66,000 yen, which is about $950 today. But other than the color, it was basically identical to the first Marty. It was thought that the FM Towns Marty 2 would feature improvements to the original, such as a faster processor, but this was not the case. When it was released, it was speculated that the Marty 2 featured an Intel 486 CPU, but this was later discovered to be false. And there's also the FM Towns Car Marty for installation in automobiles. It included a built-in navigation system with audio and video guidance. It could also be detached from the vehicle and played at home. Despite having excellent hardware from a gameplay perspective, the FM Towns Marty had very poor sales in Japan. It was very expensive, and the custom hardware meant expandability was not easy. Software today is very rare and expensive due to the low production runs. Only 45,000 FM Marty consoles were produced before being discontinued in 1995. This video was a segment from my Iceberg documentary on every single video game console ever made, so if you're into that sort of thing, you should definitely go check it out. You can follow me on all social media at IcebergDocs. Like, subscribe, click the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.